what this does is it arms us significantly to be able to see through the whole DFS program to a successful conclusion, on the back of which we could make an investment decision based on those sorts of questions.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Kerim Sener. He's the Managing Director of Ariana Resources. Kerim, very good to speak with you. Could you start by breaking down the $8 million funding package? What does it cover and how long does it keep Ariana funded for?
Hi, Stephen. Great to join you. Yes, we're really excited about this development for the Dokwe project. The company with which we're entering into this arrangement is a well-known Chinese EPC contractor with substantial facilities and capabilities in engineering and metallurgical test work as well. So it's an 8 million Australian dollar equity investment to be undertaken in Ariana CDIs, so over here in Australia, through our listing here. There's a 500,000 Australian dollar signing fee, which has been paid, which is part and parcel of that 8 million equity investment. We have to go through the process now of completing definitive documentation. So that's a process that's now underway. Associated with that, technical services agreements relating to metallurgical sampling and test work, in addition to their contributions to the Definitive Feasibility Study for the Dokwe project. Those latter two components paid in shares, or CDIs rather, for 1 million Australian dollars in value for the first part. That's the metallurgical sampling and test work program, and up to 2 million Australian dollars paid in CDIs on completion of the definitive feasibility study. So it's a very strong endorsement of the Dokwe project and what we're doing in Zimbabwe. The other important point here, of course, is that Xinhai have a substantial in-country presence. They've been involved in building the 2 million ton per annum plant at Bikita. That's the lithium beneficiation plant. And they've had a workforce up to, well, certainly in excess of 1,000 people, peak workforce. They're also building their own gold mine in central Zimbabwe, in Gweru, and that's due to go live in January of next year.
Kerim, with the feasibility study now funded, what's the realistic timeline from here to first gold?
So we cannot obviously accelerate on the whole DFS program. And our original view was that we'd get through the DFS through 2026, and it would be in the latter part of the year that we'd be able to complete that. I think with Xinhai's input, in particular, their very specific expertise and understanding of the requirements for metallurgical sampling and test work, and the design work that goes into that associated with ultimately those components of the definitive feasibility study will be able to accelerate those aspects of the program, which is great. So while we have the RC drilling program continuing to be undertaken at site to extend the known mineralization, particularly at Dokwe Central and around Dokwe North, that can be continuing to answer some questions around the exploration upside opportunity, but we can now start planning for the drilling program associated with the metallurgical sampling. So we plan to get that underway very early into next year.
Does the 8 million Australian dollars get you all the way to a production decision, or will you need to raise more capital down the track, Kerim?
Oh, no, sure. So Dokwe is a big project. So Dokwe requires substantial capital. And what route that we choose to raise that capital, whether parts of that will be in equity, further equity, or in debt, that's an open question at the moment. But what this does is it arms us significantly to be able to see through the whole DFS program to a successful conclusion, on the back of which we could make an investment decision based on those sorts of questions as to where we'll be raising the major capital required to go ahead and build the Dokwe project. But having a shareholder like Xinhai, also that arms us substantially in the sense that they're there as, I guess, a sort of financial backstop in a sense, because it would be their intention in partnership with us to see Dokwe built as quickly as possible.
Well, Kerim, congratulations on this latest development. I hope you'll keep us posted on your progress.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Thank you.
That's Kerim Sener, the Managing Director of Ariana Resources.